What is going on, guys? Scott Takai here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to set custom shortcuts on the Sony A6300 so that you can switch between slow motion and regular motion quickly. So those of you who shoot on Sony Alpha cameras have probably noticed that it's very cumbersome to switch between regular motion and slow motion. And it's mainly because you have to go through all the menus, you have to change the resolution. If you're in 4K, you have to change the frame rate, and you will be in plenty of shooting situations where you don't have time to be fidgeting through all the menus. So I'm going to show you this little trick where you can change the frame rates more quickly and at the push of a button. So the first thing I want you to do is take a look at your camera, and you're going to see the little film icon, and then you're going to see the numbers 2 and 1. First step is to switch it to movie mode, which is the little film icon. After you do that, you're going to go into menu, and you're going to go to the camera icon and then go to number 2, file format, and change it to XAVCS HD. Go to record setting and change it to 60p. Exit out of the menu and change your shutter speed to 125. The rest of the settings, like the white balance, the f-stop, and the ISO, they're always going to be different depending on what kind of shoot you're doing, so I normally just leave them as they are. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to push on the menu, and under the camera icon you're going to move it all the way to number 9 and press on memory. And in the memory menu, the first two numbers that you see is 1 and 2. And on our dial, the number 2 is right next to the film icon, so in the memory menu we're going to highlight the number 2 and we're going to press enter. So what that's going to do is every single time that you move the dial to number 2, it's going to change the camera settings to the settings that we just made. So the next step is to repeat everything that we just did, but instead of changing it to 60p, we're going to change it to 120p, and then we're going to change the shutter speed to 250th of a second. And then we're going to go back to the menu, go to the camera icon, go to page 9, and then click on memory. Press enter on number 1, and then you now have a preset for 120 frames per second. And the last thing that you're going to want to do is still make sure that the film icon is selected on your camera. You're going to go back to the menu where you changed your frame rate and your resolution, and you're going to change it back to your regular motion settings. Mine being 24 frames a second, and then I exit out of the menu and I change my shutter speed to a 50th of a second. So now we set it up to where the film icon is regular motion, number 2 is 60 frames per second, and number 1 is 120 frames per second. So now every time you want to change your frame rate, all you have to do is move the dial to whatever preset that you want. And the reason why we put 60 frames per second at number 2 instead of number 1 is because number 2 is right next to the film dial. So now when you look at the dial and you want to change your frame rates, it'll change from regular motion to 60 frames per second to 120 frames per second. So that is it for me today, guys. If you like this video, be sure to check out my other ones because I make plenty more just like this one. And if you like those, consider subscribing. Have a great day, and I will see you guys later.